A very fresh morning to all my dearest students. Welcome back to mathematics class. Students, in the previous video, we learned about algebra. Observe the given patterns and generalize the rules. We also solved exercise 11.1, question number 1 and 2. Today we are going to continue exercise 11.1 and solve some more sums. So let us solve it. Exercise 11.1, sum number 3. Cadets are marching in a parade. There are 5 cadets in a row. What is the rule which gives the number of cadets given the number of rows? Use N for the number of rows. Students, in this question, we have to write the rule for number of cadets in a row, and we have been given that there are 5 cadets in one row, but we have been not given the total number of rows. Thus, there can be 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 4 rows, 5 rows, and so on. Thus, we can say that number of rows is variable, which can take any value. That is, there can be 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, and so on. Students, it is also clearly given to us that use N for the number of rows. Students, let us assume that there are 5 rows. Then we can easily say that there are 25 cadets, or 5 into 5 cadets in 5 rows. Thus, we generalize the rule for number of cadets in a row is 5 multiplied by n, or 5n, where n is number of rows. Now, sum number 4. If there are 50 mangoes in a box, how will you write the total number of mangoes in terms of number of boxes? Use B for the number of boxes. Students, in this question, we have to write total number of mangoes in terms of number of boxes. That is, we have to write the rule for the total number of mangoes in the boxes. But we don't know that there are total how many number of boxes. Thus, we can say that number of boxes is variable. Also, it is clearly given to us that use B for the number of boxes. Thus, there can be any number of boxes Say 1 box, 2 boxes, 3 boxes, 50 boxes, 100 boxes, 150 boxes, 1000 boxes, or any number of boxes. So we can say that the total number of mangoes will depend on the number of boxes. If there is one box, there will be 50 mangoes. If there are two boxes, there will be 2 into 50 or 100 mangoes, and so on. If there are B boxes, there will be 50 B mangoes. Thus, the rule for the total number of mangoes is equals to 50B, where B is the number of boxes. Now, sum number 5. The teacher distributes 5 pencils per student. Can you tell how many pencils are needed? Given the number of students, use S for the number of students. Students, read the question, understand it, and generalize the rule. By reading the question, it becomes clear that we have to write the rule for the total number of pencils needed to distribute to the number of students, and the number of students is variable. And for the number of students, we have to use variable S. So, we can say that number of pencils needed will depend on the number of students. Say, if there are 40 students, then total number of pencils will be needed is 40 into 5 or 200 pencils. If there are S number of students, then number of pencils is equal to 5S. Thus, the rule for the number of pencils needed is equal to 5S, where S is the number of students. Students, note that in algebra, we ignore the multiply sign when a variable is multiplied by any constant number, that is fixed number. Students, in this sum, 5 is a constant number, that is fixed number, and S is variable. Now, sum number 6. A bird flies 1 kilometer in 1 minute. Can you express the distance covered by a bird in terms of its flying time in minutes? Use T for flying time in minutes. Students, try to understand this question and say what we have to write. Yes, in this question, we have to write the distance covered by a bird in minutes. And we have been given that a bird flies 1 kilometer in 1 minute. But we have been not given that how many minutes a bird flies. So we can say that minute is variable because distance covered by a bird is totally depends on its flying time. Also, we have been given that use T for flying time. Thus, the rule for distance covered by a bird is equals to 1t, where t represents flying time and t is variable. Now, sum number 7. Rather is drawing a dot rangoli, a beautiful pattern of lines joining dots with chalk powder. She has 9 dots in a row. How many dots will her rangoli have for our rows? How many dots are there? If there are 8 rows, if there are 10 rows. Students, in this question, we have been given 3 sub-questions. So, we have to write in all 3 rules for each and every sub-questions. Students, in this question, we have been given that Radha is drawing a dot rangoli and she has 9 dots in one row. And we are asked that how many dots will her rangoli have for our rows, where r is variable and r is number of rows. We are also asked how many dots are there. If there are 8 rows and if there are 10 rows. So, let us help Radha and write the rules for each and every sub-question. Solution of sub-question A. Number of dots in a row equals to 9. Number of rows equals to R. Thus, rule for number of dots in our rows equals to 9R, where R is the number of rows. Now, solution of sub-question B. Number of dots in a row equals to 9. Number of rows equals to 8. Thus, rule for the number of dots in 8 rows equals to 9 into 8 equals to 72. Now, solution of sub-question C. Number of dots in a row equals to 9. Number of rows equals to 10. Thus, rule for the number of dots in 10 rows equals to 9 into 10 equals to 90. So we can say that if there are rows, number of dots are 9 are. If there are 8 rows, number of dots are 72. And if there are 10 rows, then there are 90 dots.